Okay, so now that we can do the smart yoga as well, right? For the children can do this before they go to school, so that they will be more focused energy on the ajna, right? So the ajna is activated, so they will stay put and they will be able to absorb more. Compared to if the base chakra is activated, then they will be moving about more. So that's why the smart yoga helps, right? Of course, we have something called learning in the sleep, right? And this is amazing because you can learn anything in your sleep. So if you are learning a particular topic that you can't understand easily, or beforehand, or particular maths or something like that, learn in the sleep, right? And then of course next day thank the spiritual guides for teaching and for guiding and all that. So when you wake up in the morning, always say thank you, thank you, thank you for teaching this and all that. Yeah, so learning in the sleep is something that is very useful. You can learn anything in your sleep, and this really helps a lot. Yeah. Okay. And of course, always believe you can, and you're already halfway there, right? So when you meet challenges or when you feel like giving up, you need to believe in yourself that you can do it, because success is difficult, and it demands discipline, focus, and sacrifice. So if you believe in it, you will definitely take actions and work towards your goal, right? If you want it so much, you will definitely try to do what you can, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. And then you can have some music for concentration, especially like, when some children are practicing maths and all that, some music is actually helps to calm them down, like ocean music, something like classical music, not songs with words, because that would be a distraction, right? Because songs, when they are you're trying to memorize and you're trying to concentrate, so put a background music, and it helps you to study better, instead of like words coming out, then you'll be singing rather than doing, right? So especially when you're trying to memorize, so all these will actually help, right? All tried and tested, huh? So yeah, it works. So restore your nervous system, relaxing music and stress relief and all that. So even in the night when the child is sleeping, you want them to have a calm, in mind and all that, you can actually play soft music, like very soft, that it's not loud, but just soft, so that the child is also falls asleep nicely and all that. Yeah. So with PVH, you can focus in your studies better. So all the best in the upcoming exams, right? And this is Sir's account, and please do feel free if you want to transfer. Okay. Any O level students here? Anyone doing O levels are here? If you're not, then I'm not going to do. That's why. Anybody? Any secondary students?
Chitra, my daughter was there, but she went a few minutes ago only. She went to the other room. She started studying. She's in
Ah,
Sec 3. Mm,
she's like, yeah. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Maybe you may want to listen for her, because this is the situational writing. So
Yeah.
situational writing is 30 marks. So comparatively, when they were doing in P6, right? So when they were doing P5, P6, it was only 15 marks. This year syllabus changed, so it's 14 marks, right? But from that to now, when they're O levels, when they're doing their situational writing, it's a bit more marks compared to earlier. So it's about 30 marks, right? They have 30 marks, and time management is 50 minutes. Within this 50 minutes, you have to write one. So they will be given both the continuous writing paper plus the situational writing paper together at the same time. So the child has to actually manage the time on their own. Yeah. So sometimes what happens is the child spends more time with the SW. In short form is SW, situational writing. So, but the thing is, no matter how long you take here, you're still going to get your 30 marks. And, with the grammar and paraphrasing and all that, you may not even get your 30 marks. You may get about 20 plus marks. So, whereas your continuous writing is actually more marks, right? So, you need to balance that properly. Okay, so time management 50 minutes, question analysis. Always they will be given a task. What is your task to complete? So there will be a task box. In that task box tells you what exactly you're supposed to be answering, right? So plan your writing always, annotate on the visual stimulus. So when you're in P6, the time you don't have much visuals. There's only a speech bubbles. From the speech bubbles, you can actually figure out, and then the task box is very short and straightforward. So it's easier. But when it comes to O level secondary school, your task box, there's quite a number of things that you need to look out for, and you need to annotate on your visuals, because you're given two visuals. So you may need to look at it deeper. And planning should be at least 10 minutes. Person who fails to plan plans to fail. Yeah. This one I always tell my students. Writing, when it comes to writing, you have to plan. Okay, you cannot just say I'll go with the flow. Because if you don't plan, you do not know what you're going to write next. And then halfway you are stuck, then you are in trouble. And then if you don't analyze your question carefully, you've already started, your paper, you only have 50 minutes. And out of the 50 minutes, if you've already started and halfway through you realize that you are off track, to change the whole thing and go back, you would have wasted a lot of time. So if you could actually spend 10 minutes analyzing the question and planning your writing and annotating your visual, it will do a lot more good. Right? So write the SW in 40 minutes, 250 to 350 words, which is what your situational writing requirement is and all that. So of course you are either given an email, whether it's an informal or a formal. So informal is the easiest. Sometimes may come out, sometimes may not. Informal is writing to a friend, writing to a parent, writing to anyone that you know, in personal touch and all that. So it's okay. It's easier to write an informal letter because they don't penalize you too much, right? But of course, the tone must be friendly and personal because it's your friend. So you can't use informal languages in there. You speak like how you will speak to your friend, but in a written form. Right? So you have a proper introduction. So always, whenever you write situational writing, very important, you must follow the PAC, right? If the students, they will know what is PAC. It's purpose. What's the purpose of writing this letter? Then the audience, who are you addressing this letter to, right? And then your context. What context are you writing about? So that's very important. PAC is very important. When they know, in the task box itself, they can actually identify what's the purpose, who's the audience, and what's the context. Once they've identified, highlighted, and all that, which will be good, which will help them to, to build up their content later on. Okay, the tone friendly, of course, we know. So you have an introduction, acknowledge the purpose. I'm writing this letter, whatever. But see, that is in a formal way, right? But informal, dear whoever, yeah, and then you are going like dear Davy, for an example. Then after that, you're writing, hey, how are you? How have you been? I've been so busy with my current exam. So informal. You talk a little bit of yourself and then come back to the current situation. What are you asked to write? Are you asked to, you saw an art competition, for an example, and you want your friend to take part in it because you know your friend is so good at art, so that you're promoting this and telling her what exactly to look out for. So that's the purpose of your letter, to writing it to her. And the audience is your friend. And the context you're writing. Where is this competition? Where is it taking place? Why should she take part in it? And how will it benefit her? And is it a group competition or is it an individual competition? All these information should be told in the letter itself when you're writing. Right? So keep it simple yet straight to the point and all that. And then formal means then you are writing a letter. So if the person's name is not given, if the person like Mr. Tan or Mrs. Tan or whatever is not given, the name is not shown or written, then you must say dear sir or madam. So normally this is either a complaint letter or a writing to ask permission, or someone that you do not know. So the tone has to be polite and professional. Structure, of course, it has to be clear, because your reason for writing must be in there. So after the dear sir or madam, the reason for writing must be there. Everything must be clear, because remember, in a formal letter, the person who's reading, whoever the manager or whatever, do not have time to look at your letter in detail. They want the gist, and so it has to be certain things highlighted out there itself for the person to know, right? So, and for the examiner, because the examiner will be marking based on that also, right? So each paragraph addresses a specific point, and then of course the closure must be polite, like yours sincerely, yours faithfully, and all that. But the thing is, for the informal, you can always say, cheers, or with love, or whatever that you want to, because it's your friend that you're writing it to. So again, formal, informal, take note of the tone of the letter, right? So understand always the task, identify who are you writing to, audience, why are you writing, purpose, and what kind of text is required. Is it what kind of context are you writing in? Spend time analyzing the prompt and the task at the task box. Misinterpreting will cost a lot of marks being lost, and at the same time also lost. So very hard to get back if you had not planned properly, right? So planning is very important and all. Then situational writing, follow the format, check if the right format. Identify, is it an informal or a formal letter first, right? Or is it a report or a speech? Or is it what kind of presentation? What are they asking you for? So according to that, use the format to write, right? So for those who are doing P6s, exam finished already for English, right? So you would have either got a informal or a formal, that kind of thing, right? For this year, I think was a positive note on the CW, continuous test, which was good. Yeah. So use appropriate headings, include a proper salutations, closure, and ensure paragraphing is neat. Proper paragraphing, very important, because if the examiner who's marking, they're not only marking one child's work, they're marking the entire Singapore paper, right? So if when they are marking, um, precise, proper, topic sentences are very important so that the paragraph stands out. They know, oh, this paragraph, okay, yeah, it's talking about this, and then that. So clear identification is very important because that helps the examiner to mark, and and make it easier for the student to check as well. Once they have written, they also must check their work. So use all the given points. Situation writing tasks often include visuals or bullet points, right? So incorporate all the information provided because you don't want to lose any marks in your content. Because content, it's a maximum you must get. As long as you answer all the questions, you will definitely get. The language mark is the one that you have to worry because how you paraphrase, right? So remember, paraphrase, don't copy. Use your own words to show understanding and application. For an example, if they talk about something, they use the word talented. You don't use talented back lah. Don't copy the same word. Use another word for talented, can be skilled or can be gifted, those kind of things. So use synonyms like, that will actually help to replace your the words. So that helps in scoring better, right? So use your own words to show understanding and application for your writing. Okay, adopt the right tone. Tone is critical. Remember, is your audience a friend, a teacher, or a government official, or a company manager? So according to the tone, whether it's a formal or informal. So appropriate level of formality is to be used. Wrong tone can affect the marks, right? So if it's you're writing to a principal, you cannot be saying, "Hey, hi, how are you?" No. Okay, the principal, remember, it's not your friend, right? So they have a lot of work to do. So you have to be straight to the point and say, why are you writing this letter for? Purpose must be addressed in the beginning, in the first paragraph itself, for the person to understand what are you writing for, right? So be purposeful. Every paragraph should be addressed a specific task point. So each point, put it in one paragraph. Okay, avoid storytelling or elaborating unnecessarily because remember, it's 250 to 350 words. It doesn't mean that you write 500 words, you're going to get more, yeah? The more you write, the more grammatical mistakes you will make. So be careful what you choose, what you write. At the end, it's only 50 minutes given, right? You still have a CW to complete your continuous writing, which carries more marks than your situational writing. So manage time well. You can't be like writing halfway and then stopping your work, and then you can't finish, then it's such a waste, right? So manage time. Writing must be functional and to the point. No need to beat around the bush. Go straight to the point. Change words whenever. Use linking words, transition words, like, furthermore, in addition, but, because, however, lose the connectors as much as you can to connect two paragraphs or connect the points. Or you can even say firstly, secondly, or next, or finally, and contrast things and all that. So use linking words to help in your situational writing, right? Write clearly, concisely. Remember, concise is very important, right? No need to don't use metaphors, don't use idioms. Remember, this is situational writing. This is not continuous writing. All your metaphors and idioms can be used in your continuous writing, not in your situational writing. You only have to answer the question, what is asked in you in the text box, right? The task box will tell you exactly what is needed for you and what is the tone of the letter, and answer the questions and what is needed. So the points, when it's addressed, you score your marks for the content. Language, of course, check your work before you handing in to the examiner. Like when they collect after the end of the exam, please always check and all that. So avoid overly complex sentences and all that, because also, again, you confuse the examiner confused, you are also confused. After a while, you also don't know what you're writing, right? So please keep it simple, straight to the point, right? So they're not testing you on flowery language for situational writing. Simple and to be easily understood by the other person who's reading it. Okay, always check for grammar and spelling. All these will, penalize your language marks, right? Spend 3 to 5 minutes proofreading, because sometimes our brain and our hand works differently, yeah? we think faster and we are writing. So sometimes we can actually make grammatical mistakes, like we would have forgotten a particular grammar word or here and there. So it's always good to check, right? So that we don't penalize ourselves. And spelling as well. Yeah, get your spelling right. If the word is obviously given, transfer error is a self punishment. So when you are picking out something from what is given text, you should copy it carefully and not forget an alphabet or something like that, because you're penalizing yourself. It's such a waste, yeah, for the mark, because they do minus mark for language if it's not transferred properly as well. Subject verb agreement. Remember, your subject must always agree with the verb. It's very important. Tenses, consistency. If it's in the present tense, please stick to present tense. All right. Unless some things they ask you, like you have to rephrase, and then you need to sort of like answer in your change the sentence structure, but keep the original content, but change the the sentence structure. You can, from active voice to passive voice, you can do that, right? Change the order of the sentence is fine, but don't change the content of the, because that's the message they are trying to tell. You can't change the content, but you can rephrase it to active to passive voice, right? And that will help. You all should know by now what is active and passive voice, learned in primary school already, right? So tense consistency, spelling, punctuation, all these important, right? Plan before you write. Spend 5 minutes planning, or 10 minutes at least. Outline your structure, what is going where, and all that. List down, do a skeletal. So you can see in your skeletal that you are also double checking that you have not missed out any points, right? Decide which points goes into which paragraph. So there's a proper flow, right? Not some logical flow is very important, also under language marks. Think about the introduction and conclusion. And then, yeah, avoid repetition, because also distracts the reader or the examiner. So, types of situational writing that can come out in the exam: informal email or formal email, report, speech, or proposal. Usually proposal hasn't come out, but yeah, we cannot assume that it won't, but it's good to know all the different types. Usually very popular is informal, formal, report, right? So yeah, good to know others as well. Examiners, what do they look for? So SEAB, right? The examination board will look out for these things. Task fulfillment, very important. How well you have addressed purpose, audience, and context, very important. The PAC must be answered, no matter what. So it's very important for you to look at your PAC. The moment you get your paper, the examiner says start, identify your your purpose, audience, and context. Must be done, right? And annotate accordingly. Annotation is so important, because when you annotate, it helps you to keep on task as well, right? Language and organization, clarity, tone, grammar, logical flow, all these are actually given accordingly. So answer the questions in the task box. Very important. Sometimes children get too excited. They look at the visuals and they fail to look at the task box. First thing, you must always see what is the task. What are they asking you, right? Answer the question, what they're asking you, plan, and then after that, look at, as you go along, look at the visuals. See, that's the problem with the visuals are too, right? And they are quite lengthy. And it's too much of reading given in a short period of time. So it's important for you to, look out for details, have one highlighted to highlight the key points, which helps you to stay on the job track. Okay, and then, yeah, that's about it for the O levels, SW. So all the best, those who are doing your O levels. Okay, for the situational writing. Pomodoro method, I think this helps for some children, right? Because if you are learning a particular subject or topic to revise, you set a timer for 25 minutes, right? And then after the 25 minutes, the alarm will go off, and then it will help you take 5 minute break. 5 minute break, not watch television, not handphone, nothing here. 5 minute break, walk away from your study table or your study area and go and take a water, drink some water, okay? Or a snack bar or something that helps you, because when you're studying, you need some sugar, right? Because you get exhausted quite easily, right? So it's good to not to have sugar rush, but eat something that's healthier, so that actually keeps you on. Then go back to after the 5 minute break, go back and start again. So repeat these 3 more cycles. So first 25 minutes. After that, you will study for 30 minutes. Then you take another 10 minutes break. Then after that, you study for another 40 minutes. Then you take 15 minutes break. So you do like this in a circle. Slowly but surely, you definitely will be able to study for 1 hour already. Right? So because sometimes your brain needs a break. So that's why this Pomodoro method works for some people. right? Those people who cannot study for long period of time. This short period, but eventually builds you up to that part and all that. With that, we end tonight. Sorry, it's already 9:43, a bit overshot, but I hope it helped people. Yeah. So good luck for the exams and good luck parents also. Yeah. Okay. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Chitra. The entire session was very helpful. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Hope it helped. Yeah. So it's
Yes, it
basically
did.
thank you. Thank you.
Aywa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't know how many years ago I took my O levels.
I think that time don't have SW, you know. Now it's SW is included.
You the way you sound now like sitting for some degree course.
No, this is only over.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much. So yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night, Chitra.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Chitra.
Thank you. Good night.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you,
Night.
Chitra. Good
Thank you,
night.
Chitra.
Thank you. Bye, Maggie. Bye-bye. Bye, Michelle. Bye, Mr.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Bye. Bye all.
Bye. Bye.